Welcome to the structural analysis to video lecture. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss a problem on cantilever beam method. So here, when we are coming to cantilever method, we have the following assumptions. So based on these assumptions, the problem is discussed. So the first assumption is that there is a point of contraflexure at the center of each member. So each member is maybe a beam or column, whatever it may be. So the point of contraflexure is at the center of each member. Suppose a member has 6 meters as length, so point of contraflexure will be at the third meter from the left or right part. And second assumption is that the intensity of axial stress in each column of a story is proportional to the horizontal distance of that column from the center of gravity of all the columns of the story under consideration. That is intensity of axial stress. So this is axial stress and it is directly proportional to the horizontal distance from center of gravity to that column. That is, this assumption and this assumption both are important in solving the problems. So let's move to the problem. And the important point, the analysis is carried out story by story. So coming to the first problem in cantilever method, analyze the frame by cantilever beam method or cantilever method. So this is one of the approximate methods. So taking cross section area of all the columns as same. So if you look after, so this is the given portal frame and we have A, B, C and D. We have this one, and A, E, I are the columns and J, F, B are the columns and K, G, C are the columns and also L, H, D are also the columns. So we have this. Next, look at these loads, horizontal loads, 8 kilonewtons and 10 kilonewtons that is applied on the horizontal loads. The distance between the columns is 20 meters, 15 meters and 25 meters. One thing every student must be familiar first with the question. At least half to 1 minute has to be given to the question so that there will be no mistake when he or she is solving the problem. So you have to read out the question carefully while solving the problem. So the step 1 is we have to locate the centroidal axis of the total frame. So x bar is equal to a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus so on by sum of the areas. So x1 is the distance from the extreme left extreme column to the corresponding corresponding column, right? So a1 x1, so a1 is the first column's area, that is A, because the cross sections are the same. The columns areas of first, second, third and fourth column are the same. So first column area is A and second column area is A, third and fourth column areas are also A, and the distance x1 is 0 because we are starting from A, and x1 is 0 and x2 will be 20 meters and x3 will be 20 plus 15 meters and x4 will be 25 plus 15 plus 20 meters. So these are just x1, x2, x3, x4 are, as said here, these x1, x2 are coming from the second assumptions. So while solving the centroidal axis, x1 is nothing but this and x2 is nothing but distance from here to this column. This is x2, this is x3, and this is x4 until this. So what we are seeing here, x1, x2 in the pink color, those are the centroidal axis distances. Please don't get confused with that to this. So coming to the x bar, we have 28.75. so x bar is 28.75. that means at a 28.75 distance from the left column, the centroidal axis of the whole frame is lying. So coming to x1, that is 28.75, that is the distance from first column to the centroidal axis of the frame, and x2 is 8.75, that is the distance from second column second column to the centroidal distance of the frame, and x3 is the distance from centroidal axis to the third column, and x4 is the distance from centroidal axis to the fourth column. So this is what you have to observe, and these are just done by mathematical simple calculations. And next, coming to this part, the third page, when you look after, there is something v1 by x1 is equal to v2 by x2 is equal to v3 by x3 and is equal to v4 by x4. So what is this? This is, when we look after in the second assumption, we have v is directly proportional to x1, x2, x3 and x4. So in the second assumption, it is stated that the axial stress is proportional to the distance from the column to the center of gravity of the whole frame. I'm sorry. So this is what, when everything is the ratio is same, we can say that v1 by x1 will be equal to v2 by x2 and up to v4 by x4. So when we solve, we get v2, v3 and v4 in terms of v1. So when we solve this, we get v2 in terms of v1 and v3 in terms of v1, and at the same time v4 in terms of v1, right? Next step we have, so step 2 is finding axial force in the column of story 1. So when you come across, we have two stories, 8 kilonewton is on the top story and 10 kilonewton is in the middle of the bottom story and top story. So when we look after, two forces must be downwards and two forces must be upwards, as we have drawn here. This has to be taken care. And next, so movement about point n, movement about point n, this one. So when we are calculating moment about point n, we can see the forces 10 kilonewtons, 8 kilonewtons at the distance. This is 8 and this is 8 plus 12, 20, and we have other forces. This is v2, this is v3 and this is v4 in terms of v1, v2, all in terms of v1. So when we see here we are writing like this, 8 into 20. So first one is 8 into 20. So just now I have told this is 8 into 20, 8, and the distance is 20 here. Similarly 10 into 8 and 20 into, sorry, v1 into 20, like that. So when you look after, you can see the bending moment equation, v1 into 0, sorry, v2 into 20 and minus v3 into 35 and minus v4 into 16, that we are getting. So when we substitute v1, v2, v3 and v4 in terms of v1, we get v1 value as 4.31, because it is positive we are taking it as downwards, and V2, substituting V2, V3 and V4, we get these values. So we are keeping these values as the same. So next, step 3 is axial force in second story. That means we are considering only the top story here. So when you consider the top story, we get axial force in second story, that is similar like the previous one. V1 must be downwards, V2 must be downwards, and V3 must be upwards, and V4 must be upwards. Here for everything we are keeping as V1 dash, V2 dash, V3 dash and V4 dash. So taking moments about here also similarly, when you observe 8 into 6, here there is a small mistake. Please consider this as 3. So please consider this as 3, not 6. So we are taking moments about here. So 8 into 6, and I'm sorry, this is 12 actually. Okay, this is wrong. This is 12. This is 12, and the half portion will be 6. This is correct. So 8 into 6 plus V1 into 0 plus V2 into V2 dash into 20 and minus V3 dash into 35 and minus V4 dash into 60. So we get the values of, similarly we get the values of V1 dash, V2 dash, V3 dash and V4 dash, and we are substituting in the same. Next we get finding shear at end of the beam. So when we look after, we are finding shear at end of the column. So shear at the end of the column, as we are in a mode of computing this problem in cantilever method. So when you can observe, this is a cantilever beam, and the shear force at the end of the cantilever beam will be always 0, provided if there is any load at the end, then it is called a if it is a prop, we are calling it as prop cantilever beam, and if there is a top load from here, there must be any shear. But here when you observe, there is no load at the end, there is no load like this at the end. So for that, the the shear at the end must be 0 here, then only the problem is said to be correct. So whenever we are finding the shear at the end, this thing we have to take. So writing this V1 and V2, when you observe, so these are the very easiest problem from approximate method. So this is downwards as usual, and this is also downwards, and V2 dash is also downwards, and V2 is downwards, V3 dash and V3 are upwards, and V4 dash and V4 are upwards. So request the viewers to please write on your own while solving the problem or while listening to this problem, so that you can easily access. The way of teaching is very simple. So after that, the next step is that shear at E. So how we are finding shear at E? So here the forces coming towards E are to be taken as positive, that is V1 dash, I am taking this as positive, and the forces that are moving away from E are taken negative. So when you observe here, V1 is going away from E. So this is 0.71 minus 4.31, that is minus 3.6 kilonewtons. So in the next step, we are finding shear at F. After shear at E, we are finding shear at F. So like how we are doing shear force diagram, we are also considering the left or right side forces. So in similarly, we have to consider these forces, that is V1 minus V, or simply we can use minus 3.6 directly here while solving the next step. So this is minus 3.6 plus V2 dash minus V2. Here we get minus 4.7. Next step is shear at G. Shear at G. So shear at G is nothing but minus 4.7 So the previous shear we have to take from here, minus 4.7 plus V3 minus V3 dash, we get minus 3.92. Next, now shear at H. Shear at H. So what we are going to get here? So shear at H will be minus 3.92 plus V4 minus V4 dash, because V4 is moving upwards and it is towards H, and V4 dash is also moving upwards and it is away from H. Okay. So we get the answer as 0 when we solve shear at H, and we get the desired result. So in the same manner, coming to the next shear in the other story, shear at I. So here we have shear at I in the top story. In the same manner we have to do it. Shear at I is nothing but V1 is going away, V1 dash is going away from I. So we have to take minus V1 dash. The answer will be minus 0.71 kilonewtons. Here when you look after, here we have, that is minus V1, and shear at J will be minus, this value, and minus 0.21, because minus 0.21 is also going away from J, and shear at K will be this minus 0.92 plus the force which is coming towards K. In the last step we have minus 0.77 plus 0.77, the last force, and we are having shear at L as 0. So this is the thing. In the last step we have moment in the beam. So moment is nothing but the shear force in each column, that is 3.6 into 20 by 2 is the distance divided by 2 gives the moment in the beam. So here we have done all the things like MEF, MFG, MGH, and while solving the problem you can easily identify this method, and in this fashion you have to find the moments in the beam. So coming to a quick report or quick recap. So when you have this, the first step is you have to find the centroidal axis of the total frame, and later do it this V1 by x1 is equal to V2 by x2, so on, and depending on the number of columns, and next make all of them into in terms of V1 and find axial force in the column of story 1. In the same manner find axial force in the column of stories 2. In the same manner next find the shear and again the shear in the next column, in the next story, and at last please find the moment in the each beam, that is beam. So columns is completed, and beams directly we are finding the moment in the beam by the shear force at each end into total distance by 2, considering the half section, because the centroidal, that means the point of contact flexure lies at the center. So we are taking the distances 20 by 2, 15 by 2, 25 by 2, 20 by 2, 15 by 2, and 25 by 2 accordingly. So this is regarding the first problem of cantilever method. Hope you have understood it. Please like, share and subscribe this channel for more updates. Thank you very much.